Hey, I'm Josh from Vacuums, RS, and Sewing 2, and today I'm going to be talking about the Sebo X4 versus the Sebo X7. So when comparing these two machines, the Sebo X4 and the X7, there's both a functional performance difference, there's also a feature set difference. So starting with the X4 is a more mature design than the X7, a little bit older design. It's based on, again, as much as Sebo's products are, it's based on a commercial product that initially was designed with the thought of very short pile, glue down carpets in commercial environments like hotels, offices, and the like. We see that it has a lower head than does the X7. So in some instances, it can be a little bit easier to get under very low profile furniture. So like its big brother, the X7, the X4 has a filter inside of the high filtration back compartment that goes from top to bottom, and it also has, and this is super popular with Sebos, it has a single button which will pop out your brush roller for easy replacement of the brush roller or easy cleaning of the brush roller. One thing that you're going to find that's different between the X7 and the X4 is the X7 has an additional filter down here in the base of the machine, a final filter that filters the exhaust air on the way out. Even though the X7 does have an additional filter, the X4 does not. They do both adhere to S-Class standard filtration. So the X4 does not have a headlight, whereas the X7 does have an LED headlight. Rather bright, actually. I'll show it to you real quick. So the X4 that we're showing today is the X4 Boost. This particular version of the X4 does have the boost button right there. The X7 PET is the X7 that we're showing you today. The X7 PET specifically also does have that boost button there. What that button will do is it will lower the brush roller very slightly, and it will lower the sensitivity of the machine so that the brush roller won't shut off when it feels tensions. So from a functionality standpoint, what we see, a big difference between the X7 and the X4 is when we start getting into thicker carpets, which are more common in homes as opposed to businesses. And I think this has a lot to do with the X4's older design, where we saw shorter pile carpets were much more common, and its birth in the commercial cleaning zone, sort of. What we find is that the X4, with some augmentation with a soft carpet brush, can run over some higher piles, some plush carpets, and some carpets with upgraded pads, but it is limited. So as you start getting into those really higher end carpets, those higher end wall-to-wall carpets, you'll find that the X4 will become very hard to push. It may bog down, and it may even tend to shut itself off automatically, thinking that it's clogged. The X7 is a newer design. They adjusted the sensitivity of the automatic adjustment feature. So what's great about both of these machines is that they do automatically sense your carpet height, and they will adjust up and down based on your carpet height and down to a bare floor. What we find though is that the modifications that have been made with the X7 make it adjust far more accurately, and it doesn't react as quickly as the X4 does. So on the X4, again, when you're working on thicker carpets, what you may find is that it's constantly bringing itself up and down and attempting to readjust, whereas the X7 is a little bit more intelligent about that. It will pause for a second when it feels some variation in carpet density before it starts adjusting. So you're not changing back and forth constantly while you're using it. The X7 that we're showing today is the X7 PET. This comes standard with a charcoal filter. The advantage of the charcoal filter is that for pets, where your high filtration bag can tend to develop some level of odor in it, the high filtration, the charcoal filter will pull that odor out. Now, at the time of this filming, there is no X4 that comes standard with this filter. It is something that you can buy separately and add to the machine if you choose. The biggest performance difference you're going to see, the most notable performance difference, is in how the X7 cleans bare floors, so tile, wood, linoleum, LVT. The X7, by far, in my opinion, at this time, among all uprights, the X7 cleans bare floor better than anything that I've seen on the market today. The X4 does a good job, it does a fine job, but if you're in a home that has a significant amount of mixed surfaces, where you're looking at 40 to 50% hard surface, I believe that if you own the X4, you're probably rarely going to use it on your bare floor. If you own the X7, you'll be in the habit of constantly using the X7. When you vacuum your home, from a in-home usability point of view, when you vacuum your home with the X7, what you're going to find is you're vacuuming your entire home with it. Whereas with the X4, you may hang it up and you may grab a stick vac to do your bare floor. Maybe you sweep your bare floor, because I don't think on hard surfaces it's going to necessarily give you the results that you really want.